All right, so I'm back to making videos, and I've got a lot to talk about here. I'll try to hit on little bits of it as we go along, but first let me just give an update for where I've been. If you haven't seen over on Twitter, for the last little over a week, really, I've been battling and trying to recuperate from the stomach flu. I had a fever. Started on like a Wednesday. The fever broke by Thursday, but I have not been in good shape for the fall. Right after that Wednesday was done, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I was a bathroom bound boy for all those days. By the time I got to Tuesday, it started. I started doing a little bit better. I'm to the point where I can do my normal activities now, but as we might say, still not all the way over it yet. So, and if you're wanting a good diet to help you lose a lot of weight, you might be in misery, but you'll lose some weight because you ain't gonna be able to eat if you're anything like me. So, y'all just keep sending me the positive energy and the prayers over here that I can finish, kicking this thing and getting it out of my system, because this has been no fun. But that's where I've been. So, let's talk about some stuff that's been going on here recently. So, Joe Biden has finally come out and broken the news. Student debt relief is abandoned. What is it, like February or whatever? People got to start making their student debt loan payments again, right? And everybody's all up in arms. Well, he said he would do this. He said he would do that. Y'all really that surprised that the man who's made a career in politics off of lying didn't keep his promises? Y'all are really surprised that a guy who said nothing will fundamentally change is actually holding true to that promise, that nothing is fundamentally changing? His Build Back Better plan, he's letting Joe Manchin strip to no end. So there should be no surprise why he's not holding up to his word and actually doing something about student debt relief. He was never going to do it. It was nothing but a lie and something he thought he could say to try to win your votes because he thinks you're a bunch of suckers. And if you keep falling for it, you kind of are, because these people have made a track record of proving they're not going to do what they say they're going to do. They're going to say it to win your vote. But speaking of Joe Manchin, another interesting clip that's floating around right now, I recommend going to check it out if you haven't already. Charlemagne the God. Okay, so this guy's got a Comedy Central show, I think it is. It's like The God's Honest Truth or something. He brings on Kamala Harris. Now, they got like a whole 20-minute interview with each other. But getting towards the end, he tries to ask a question on Joe Manchin and Joe Biden. So apparently he's asking really, direct questions, something that you don't see the mainstream media actually ask of a Democrat politician half the time, right? Especially the vice president if they're a Democrat. Okay. So, but he asks, and he's trying to get around to like Joe Manchin and the power Joe Manchin is wielding. And then you can hear Simone Sanders interrupting, like, we're going to have to wrap, like trying to cut it off. But he gets the question through, and Kamala Harris winds up even trying to answer it. And she goes off, because his question was, is Joe Biden really the president, or is Joe Manchin? Because Joe Manchin has completely had his way up to this point. If Joe Manchin don't want it, it don't happen. Okay? Joe Manchin gets his freaking way. And so the question was, is he the president, or is it Joe Biden? And come on, it's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican. She goes off.
That's going to speak against Joe Manchin. No. I want to know who's the real president of this country. Is it Joe Biden or Joe Manchin?
I'm sorry, I interrupted. I don't think the vice president can hear you. It's Simone. I'm so sorry, Charlamagne. We have to wrap.
She can hear me.
You can hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me, Madam Vice President?
So I'm sorry. We got to wrap. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're acting like they can't hear me.
I can hear you.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden? Madam Vice President.
Come on, Charlamagne.
I really-
Come on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a
And
problem?
it's Joe Biden, and I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris. And the reality is, because we are in office, we do the things like the child tax credit, which is going to reduce black child poverty by 50%, on track to do that. We do things that are about saying that our Department of Justice is going to do these investigations and require.
She goes off on Charlamagne the God over this. It was in one way quite hilarious, but in another way, blood boiling to me, that she just takes this attitude and this tone of, how dare you question us for why we're letting this corrupt man. And then she starts, citing all this stuff they've done. Oh, we're responsible for this. We're responsible for that. We're going to be doing the third. But what you don't address is why you're letting Joe Manchin drag you around by your pinky toes. You don't give an explanation for that at all. Okay? Now, to be fair, their interview did end on some sort of good terms, but the same can't be said for this clip that I just finished watching a few minutes ago between Tim Pool and this, what's his dude, Ra, the Rugged Man or something like that. Oh my God. What a clash of two buffoons.
That I do. I literally just said
I know.
that.
That was the facade.
That
was the facade to not take away.
Facade?
From yes, it was like
admitting outright, saying straight up, bro.
And your Jesse Smollett hoax. She made up this whole story about white supremacists coming to your house and saying, "Oh, the mixed couple," and throwing racist pamphlets at you, and you made up a whole Jesse Smollett thing. That's the takeaway from the struggle of the black man.
It seems like we're blending between.
No, you're a racist prick. Here's my hour-long documentary about the black struggle in Ferguson.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. $100,000 budget. Yeah. James Baldwin interviews with people on the ground to talk about what they've been through, and you have the nerve to come up to me and tell me my experiences don't matter when I'm fighting the fight.
Stop screaming, bitch. Stop screaming. First of all, talk to me like because I'm not that guy.
Yeah, you are. You actually are, dude. Yeah. You are that guy.
I'm not that guy to fucking scream at, bitch. You want to get fucked up?
All right.
Fucking screaming at, bitch.
Let's calm down.
You gotta cut it, man.
You think you can?
I'm not that guy. You don't disrespect me, bitch.
What did you do to me? Did you disrespect me?
Nah, you start raising your voice to me like I'm some sucker.
Did you laugh at me?
Bitch. Yeah, laugh.
Did you disrespect me? I was nice to you, bro. I was being nice.
You start raising your voice to me like I'm your son, bitch.
You raised your voice to me?
Bro,
I said,
raised my voice
I respected you.
You wouldn't shut
I
the fuck
appreciated
up with that
you.
Raising your voice shit.
I stopped when you told me to.
So look, I've done videos. I've had debates with people that I don't agree with on things, right? So Tim Pool, you got Tim Pool. Now, to be fair, I don't know much about Tim Pool. I mean, I've watched some of his stuff, but it does seem like he's a little bit of a flip-flop type of guy. Kind of bounces between positions, like whichever way the wind's blowing. I have gotten that vibe from him before, okay? But that being said, you got this Ra the Rugged Man who's laughing off basically everything that Tim Pool's got to say, okay? You've got it, he's just laughing it off. Point being, I would consider, if he was engaging in a conversation with me, debate or whatever, you don't have to agree. Like, you might think my opinions are absolutely batshit, but the body language you're using to go back and forth with me, the way you're laughing and scoffing at anything that I say, it's disrespectful. It is. I'm sorry. Look, I've had people on my show I didn't agree with. There is a way to still give them a certain element of respect. If you know their points are just bullshit, then use logic and fact and prove it bullshit. You can do that. It's not hard to do. Okay, if their argument's that weak and you're that much smarter, then use your common sense, use your logic, use your knowledge, use the facts to prove it. But you don't have to be disrespectful to them in the process. Okay? Now, do whatever you want. If you want to be a disrespectful jackass, be a disrespectful jackass. But this guy gets fucking pissed because Tim Pool starts getting pissed at how rude he's being to Tim Pool. So Tim Pool starts raising his voice. And then goes, who the fuck you think you're talking to, man? You're not going to talk to me that way. No, you're not going to talk to me that way, man. You're not going to talk to me like that, bitch. Lower your voice. You're not going to talk to me like that, bitch. I'm not that guy. And then Tim Pool like, yeah, you literally are that guy. This guy gets up and, the fuck, I'm not that fucking guy, man. Who the fuck you talking to? You're not gonna fucking talk to me like that. We could go right now, bitch. Like, what the fuck? I'm looking at that, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? You've got one fucking damn clown who has been disrespectful this entire time, getting pissed that the person he's been disrespectful to is now being disrespectful to him. The fuck did you think would come from that? You know, where I come from, there's a lot of ways to explain it, but I'll go with a scientific way. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If you disrespect me, don't be surprised if I don't disrespect you. And this is not a defense of Tim Pool, because this guy has made wishy-washy claims, which is something the guy tried to bring up. He tried to say, look, man, you say this in one video, and then you say this in another video, because Tim Pool tried to claim during that argument he wants to abolish the police. And I don't know, maybe Tim Pool does, but there are certainly other videos out there where he defends the police. So then you've got to call into question, okay, so what's your true opinion here? It's like you don't have a fundamental base into what you believe about things, okay? So it makes people question, what do you really believe? So I'll give that the rugged man that much, but you were being disrespectful to the dude on his own show up to that point. Man, I'm just saying, if it was me, and you were disrespecting me that way, and then you tried to get up out of that seat like you wanted to throw some hands, my man, we would have probably went at it right there in the studio. Just saying. I don't take that disrespectful shit. You're going to disrespect me, don't be surprised if I disrespect you. And if you got a problem with that, there's one of two ways we can settle this. Either we can both become grown men and let cooler heads prevail, or if you want to take it a step further, I got you. One of two ways, man. but I think it was pretty embarrassing that he was going to disrespect Tim Pool that way. Is embarrassing and hilarious. Tim Pool then wants to play fake tough guy by raising his voice, but the minute my man stood up out of that chair, Tim Pool backed down like a little bitch. That's embarrassing, my man. You let him do that to you on your own show. You should be ashamed of yourself. So now that brings us around to this final point that I want to make on this video today. Omicron. Now, to cover my ass on YouTube, because this will be going up on YouTube, YouTube is very touchy about what you can say about COVID and the vaccines. So to cover my ass, the vaccines have proven that they are effective against battling COVID-19 and reducing hospitalization and symptoms. To the viewers out there, you can have your own opinion. I know I've got mine. Just saying what the data has shown. Okay? Now that we've covered our ass for YouTube, and still might not be covered, but we're going to go with it at this point. Okay? This Omicron variant comes out. Turns out most of the data that's been presented about Omicron, okay, says that the Omicron variant so far does not show that it has any serious symptoms. They said that it mostly seems to resemble more of like the common cold, right? Now, To me, I look at that and I say, that seems like a step in the right direction. That seems like the virus is mutating into something that could become more infectious, but it becomes weaker. And there have been people, doctors, who've come out and said that's what would happen. Either the virus is going to become more deadly but less infectious, or it's going to be more infectious, but it's got to lose its kick to get more infectious. So it's like a trade-off. You know, you can either have more strength but less speed, or more speed but less raw power, less strength. But you can't, it's very hard to get both, right? You can't be some hulking, muscled 400-pound man and just, be fast as lightning. It just doesn't happen. So you've got to sacrifice one for the other. And it seems like that's the way that the virus is going at this point, is toward the route of more infectious, but less deadly. Okay. Now, is this going to overtake the other variants? That remains to be seen. But the big hype right now is around the new variant. That leads me to believe that they probably think that it will overtake. But Big Pharma is raking in the dough over this whole COVID thing. Okay? Now, what do I mean by they're raking in the dough? You can get the vaccine for free. Yeah, you can get it for free. But somebody's still paying for that vaccine. Pfizer and Moderna are set to make around $30 billion in profit just off of the vaccine shots, involving the 2 shots. We're not even talking about the booster shots at this point, okay? They're set to make roughly $30 billion, if not more. You split that right down the middle, it comes out to $15 billion in profit for each side, right? The entire music industry, Jimmy Dore did a good segment on this. The entire music industry is only going to make like $12 billion in profit for this entire year. So they're already going to be making, each of them, potentially, more profit than the entire music industry just off of the vaccine in those 2 shots. Not even the booster shots. But now, you need to go take the booster shot. They tell you that if you've got the first 2 shots, you're not sufficiently protected against the Omicron variant. Well, this 3rd shot's made based on the same stuff that the first 2 are based on, right? I'm having trouble understanding that. Now, I'm not a doctor. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe there is a logical answer and I just haven't heard one yet. So if there is, I'd love to hear it. But as far as where I can see right now, where I'm at right now, this doesn't make any sense to me. It's got the same stuff in it as the first 2. Now I get it. The second round was supposed to get you to where you needed to be. See, the 3rd shot, it's like, well, what are we doing? Are we redefining what these things are? Because a booster is not something, from my understanding, to give you something you didn't already have. A booster shot, from everything I've always understood, has been you got the full effect. Okay? But over time, it's going to lose its effectiveness. So you need a booster shot to get you back to where you should be. That's what they always gave me when I was a kid and I took booster shots. It's because I went for so many years and it was losing its effect. So you need the booster shot to get you back up to where you should be. That's what I've always understood of a booster shot. So my understanding has never been of a booster shot that it's got something in there that the first 2 did not have. So if there's information that says that I'm wrong in that understanding, I'd love to see it. But that's what I understand a booster shot to be. It simply boosts what you had back up to that level. But the claim they're making is that this new 3rd shot is going to give you a protection against a new variant that the first 2 simply will not. How is that possible? It's based on the same stuff that was in the first 2. Its only purpose was to get you back up to basically full vaccination status because the vaccine has not worn off on you at all, right? That's my understanding. So how is that argument valid? How, if that's the case, it's not a booster shot. It's a third dose. It's a third dose. The first dose gave you certain protections. The second dose gave you, at the time, full protections. Now a third dose gives you newer protections. That is not a booster shot. It is a third dose. But they still refer to it as a booster shot. And they say you need it for this new variant. So now you've got to ask the question. Since they're calling it a booster shot, but by common sense, if it's giving you something the first two didn't give you, it doesn't sound like a booster shot. And I understand each of these is supposed to give you antibodies. But again, the point was it's only supposed to get you back to the same thing that you had before. Maybe a little more. But it's a booster shot. It boosts you back up. That's always been my understanding of what a booster shot does. So now a booster shot's doing something I've never understood a booster shot to do by giving you a protection that the first two rounds didn't give you. So you need this third shot now to protect yourself from a variant of the virus that has already shown itself so far to be less deadly. Well, if it's that much less deadly, why all of a sudden is it so imperative that you need more shots to protect yourself against it? If it seems like most people can kick this one fairly easy. And then if you do get infected, you'll get some sort of natural immunity, which I don't think is a bad thing. Now, you're going to have the people like the Tony Fauci's of the world who are proven liars, who would then tell you you still need the vaccine. Maybe you do. But there's also studies coming out that says that natural immunity is doing a great job too. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say which one is the more effective. I'm not going to go down that route. I think people need to look at the facts and the data and make these decisions for themselves. I don't think politicians need to be making it for them. I don't think big tech needs to be making it for them. That's my opinion on that. But I have to ask, when the mainstream media, because when this information came out about that third booster, the third shot, the booster is giving you the protection, it was parroted all over, smartphone mainstream media. Okay? It was parroted all over the mainstream media on TV. Everyone's saying this will give you certain protections that the first two don't. So you need this third shot. Everyone was saying it. And yet they're all, and they weren't just saying, they were saying the Pfizer third dose, by the way. Most of them were saying the Pfizer third dose. And it's just interesting. If you want to see this for yourself, go on YouTube and look up, brought to you by Pfizer or sponsored by Pfizer, and look at all the news shows that Pfizer is sponsoring. So Pfizer is basically buying off all these mainstream media outlets and news shows. They're buying them off. And then these same people are parroting the talking point that you need the third shot, which, based on the history of boosters, its purpose is to boost you back up to where you were because what you had was wearing off. And yet now it's doing something never heard of before. Even though it's boosting you back up, it's actually giving you something you never even had from the first two. So then one has to wonder, is this really some new rare coincidence in medicine where something really miraculous is happening from a booster shot to give you extra protections that the first two never even had? Or is this just Big Pharma trying to make even more money? They're capitalizing on this, and they want to make even more money. And then when you couple that in with the fact they refuse to release the vaccine patents so other people can make it to get the poorer countries vaccinated as well, which people have said will lead to more variants being created if people don't get vaccinated or natural immunity. Well, if that's the case, definitely seems like they're just wanting to make money. That's what it seems like. Now, is that the case? You be the judge. I think you are smart enough to look at the facts and figure out for yourself at least what your opinion on the situation is. But you guys let me know. What do you think's going on there? What do you think about these other things we talked about up to this point? Drop the comments in the comment box down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We'll have more videos coming soon. By Christmas, if not right after. I want to get the video with Jeff Melton up over on Rockfin. That debate. The new studio's coming along. I'm supposed to be getting the power hooked up to the building now on Monday. So a lot of things going on right now. But again, if you like this video, give it that thumbs up. Drop the comments in the comment box down below. If you're new to the channel and you haven't, and you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe. And if you're subscribing, make sure that you're hitting that little bell and turn those notifications over to all, because otherwise they'll never tell you when I put anything up if you don't. So again, want to thank everyone for tuning in. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone has a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time right on the Lone Wolf Podcast. Take care, everyone.